lastly, did you hold anything back? Did you give it everything that you could? So, let's see if I can get this to go. So contrary to what my family thinks a lot of times, this is not about me. This is about my journey to 70.3, and really all of you are included in that. So a couple quotes here. If you laugh and think and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special. Obviously, we should all know that. It's Jimmy D. And then also, this isn't a faith-based program, but feed your faith and your fears will starve. That pretty much has got me through everything that I've done through this year. Most people know, and I'll bring up some pictures of people, of why I've done things. My friend Paula, who was diagnosed with cancer in 2012. So I've kind of harnessed a lot of that and done a lot of things this year for her. So Beach to Battleship. Anybody know who this is? Yeah. We have Julie from Love Boat too. Anybody guess? We call her Carrie. Carrie is basically our Julie. I think underneath it we need to put this quote. Best day ever.
Oh my God! That's the bar?
Yeah. You posted that picture. I didn't take that picture.
Nah, cool.
So, in January of this year, I never intended to do a triathlon. It was never on my radar. I did the Marine Corps the past 2 years, and I was looking forward to, okay, maybe I'll do Marine Corps again, maybe I'll do Chicago. And then in February, I hear someone's starting a run clinic at Northern. So I shoot Carrie an email, and next thing I know, she said, yeah, that's great. We're doing the swim clinic on Sunday. This is Friday, she emails me. We're doing the swim clinic on Sunday. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. I've never swam. I hate swimming. I do not, 25 yards to me is torture. And so we go to church in the morning, come back, sitting on the couch, and I get up, my wife's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go to swim clinic. She's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to go to swim clinic. I want to meet who this Carrie is, find out what this is all about, and talk about the running clinic, which is where I thought everything was going to go. Look where I am now. It's kind of fun how I got that.
That's the one Coach did at the GSC?
That's the one that she did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was our first swim clinic.
Yeah.
First, it's probably been a long time. I don't think the last time, I don't remember the last time I swam 25 yards. I couldn't wait for her to, I was hoping she was going to say something as I'm halfway down the pool, because I was in their lane. It was tough. So, but believe it or not, I got booked that day. So, Grandover Duathlon. So this is another one. Carrie, Eileen. That week, you know, my friend Paula, she was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012. Underwent a double mastectomy. Actually was doing fine from that. And then in spring of this year, in February, she got re-diagnosed with stage 1 metastatic breast cancer. So she's had a tough road. So it was a bad week for her. I happened to, I don't even remember this one, whether it was email or whatever. Carrie's like, you know, you need to come out and do this. So again, get out of bed in the morning, sign up that morning for the event, do it. I didn't even have a bike. I had to borrow a bike from Steve that week. So, and I had not been 20 miles. That was torture. So the 20 miles was not an easy thing. So I biked a couple times. Next thing you know, years to cheers. So
that was a rough day.
Yeah. So anybody know who this is?
That's Steve.
So if it's not Carrie, I'm blaming Steve for this one. So Steve says to me, I've never gone over 25 miles biking. We're only going to do 62, and we'll take it slow. We're going to go 15, 16 mile pace. We'll take it easy. So I went from 25 at that point to 62 miles, basically by what, May? I don't know how I got through that. That was tough.
Doug and Philip's fault.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're the ringleader. So great ride. It was fantastic. And the sad part, I guess it'll show we were at 60.5, I think, when we got in. I had to finish the 62 because I put 62 on my Facebook and everybody, and I was doing it for my friend Paula. I went and did another mile and a half to finish my 62.
I stopped and had beer.
So I was the one that I think Courtney was doing, if anybody knows Courtney, she was doing something, she was doing 100 that day. So she came flying by me. Yeah. So then, time for Try for Hospice. again, probably, I think I was in the pool once since we had our swim clinic. So to do 200 yards, I blamed Philip for this one. Philip did it last year, and he's like, I'm gonna do a better time. And everybody said it was a great event. I got in the pool, and that snake was the worst. I signed up that morning again. So I was at the back of the line. I was like the third person from the last. And I got out almost the last, and I was 8 minutes from my transition because I was for the blood to rush back to my head because I was so lightheaded. Did my bike, and then did great on the run, which is where my I feel the best at. Then went and did High Point this year, signed up that morning. You see a pattern here. And then did Ramsar, signed up that morning. Yeah. So my wife doesn't even question me. My wife doesn't even question me on Saturday morning anymore. I set the alarm. She goes, "What do you got today?" So I'm going to do a race. Thank you. So Ramsar is where I really feel like, where I felt like I actually crossed that line. That swim, which I was worried about, is when I really feel like, okay, I can do these battleships. This is not going to be that difficult. And then training session. We did E3, 3 hours. Our beach to battleship group. And I think about that. 3 hours on a bike in a room. That was tough. But that's when I realized I can do the bike. So this isn't so bad. I can do the swim now. This proved to me that I can do the bike. And then I knew I could run because I've done Marine Corps past 2 years. That, okay, I can put this together. This is not going to be a challenge. I can do this without an issue. Some of you see the bracelet or wristband I've been wearing. So this is from my friend Paula. So what I did, and part of Teamindure, which I'll talk to you about what the concept is of Teamindure, I've wrestled with that ever since I came up with that concept back in 2009 is when it started. And then actually became a business in 2012 officially. I haven't made any money with it. My accountant keeps telling me, I got to eventually start showing a profit here. But the concept, and we'll find out tonight. I'm going to take your viewpoint too. Is it just, do other people believe this too? Is it something that makes sense? So I customized shirts. I actually did, since tri-gear is so hard to do anything to. You have to order so many items, and if you want to customize like shirts, like in the back of my shirt and stuff, that's easy. We can do that, and I have a printer that does that. So what I did this year is, I knew it was going to be cold, so I basically made up arm warmers and just put my family's name on it and my bib, and then what I did is I actually wrote other people's name on it. So that's what gets me through these events. So then here's our Beach to Battleship group. And then... Did you sign up that morning? No. You can't sign up that morning. So I was forced to sign up. I was forced. If I could have, I probably would have. So, Beach to Battleship, one of the best things I did in training too was also do Karen's group with Eric and Mila and Andrew and Carrie and some of you who aren't here. It was fantastic. Oh, yeah, and Lindsay. Sorry, Lindsay, didn't see that. But fantastic, because that was another thing. Swimming, getting in the pool and pushing me, and then doing it with our little group that basically our Facebook messaging. We're like a bunch of little kids, I think. But it was great. It definitely helped to get through. So we all survived. So contrary to what you think, going from really February to now, I was not a star athlete. I basically played football, but this was me. I was this guy sitting on the bench most of the time. I had no intention of ever getting in the game. And I was basically, if I felt crazy, I'd move to the left side of the bench. Sometimes I'd go to the end of the line. But I was pretty much out of the way. I didn't want to get into the game. I got in sometimes, but I was there for the jersey. I was there for the clothes. And I was there to try to date a cheerleader. So one felt sorry for me, so I did date one. But statistics, anytime I do a talk, I try to put out numbers. So think about statistics. Just like running, there's a lot more people doing running right now. There's the percentage gain from 91 to 2011 was 170%. 2014 we had 18.7 million finishers to race. There were 28,000 running events. That's a nice thing about events. There's always something going on every single weekend. So there's never an issue. You can always sign up last minute for something. Good for me, because I'm not going to plan. As I said, I give my wife and my kids right of first refusal. So what are we doing? We're not doing anything. We're not, okay, I'm going to go do an event. So that way I don't have to worry about, guess what, this week I'm doing an event. Now she'll find out about Augusta sometime in the summer. She'll she'll know when it's needed. And then 25% complete a marathon. So triathlons, memberships for the USAT have jumped up a lot. Anybody ever looked at the numbers that they put out? So one-day memberships are 477,000. That's up, I forget what the percentage is. It's a pretty significant increase. I think it's about 5% every year. So there's a lot more people getting into it. And we'll talk about why people get into this stuff. And you can see the level, 78% for sprint, all the way to 17% do a full. It doesn't equal 100 because, as you know, like all of us, we all do multiple events during the year. So people, they poll, they just see how many did, what type of event did you do that year. So why do we do it? Everybody tell me, why do we do this stuff?
So you can
T-shirt, yeah.
I like
The drink after?
They're crazy.
Yeah. Life events sometimes will cause it. So whether it's a birthday, the biggest year, if you look at the couch will tell you the Niners, 39, 49, 59, you're getting ready to turn that next thing, and like, okay, good, I need to do an event. I need to do a marathon, I need to do a triathlon. I started doing events when I was 39. The same thing, I said, I'm going to do it, and we'll talk about the reasons in a second, but I said, I'm going to run a half marathon when I turn 40. And so I told everybody I knew, as part of the accountability, I told everybody I worked with, everybody knew I was going to do a half marathon. Again, I didn't sign up to it. The week of, I did a cannonball. So waited to the very end. Great race, did 2009. Health scare is another reason that we do things. So health scare to you or health scare to a friend of you that's going through something. Peer pressure. Everybody wants to carry here. I think there's an award for having people bring the most participants or members into the TTT. I think Carrie probably wins the hands down. I think, so if you look at the growth.
I love everybody. Everybody's getting one big net.
Friendship, So that little Beach to Battleship group, I paid to get new friends. That's what it was. Best money I've spent so far. And then boredom. I think some, we just want that next challenge. What are we going to do next? So Teamindure. So what is Teamindure? Finally got to that. Basically, Teamindure is a concept that I had of going out there and doing events for people that are going through their own health marathons or triathlons. They don't choose to enter that race. We know where the finish line is. We know where our start line is. We know what it's going to take to get to that point. And they don't know. And then, like my friend Paula, unfortunately, she had breast cancer. She thought she was over it, and then boom, comes back, and guess what? You have 10 months to live. She wasn't prepared for that. So now she's got to learn how to navigate that whole process. So one of the things is that when I was in high school, I lost one of my best friends to cancer. So I feel pretty lucky at this point that I can actually do the things that I'm able to do. So my first son, Matt, when I was 39, so I was starting to train for a half marathon. I didn't like what I looked in the mirror. I was overweight. I was about 15 pounds heavier than I was now. I just didn't feel comfortable. And so I started running. And then my son, Matt, he was 13, and he started having, just not feeling well. Had high fever, stomach ache, oh, it's a virus, it's a virus. We did that for probably 6 to 8 weeks. And it was right up to my birthday's in September. He was sick from August all the way through. Cannonball Run was October 12th or 14th, somewhere in there. And my family, they're all going to go, and my son's like, I still don't feel good. So I went and ran. I never ran over 8 miles. So I never ran over 8 miles ever in my life. Went and did the 13.1. Once I got past 8, it was a struggle. So I kind of harnessed that last 5 miles. I think this is where Teamindure was actually started. I started thinking about what my friend Nick was going through back when he had cancer. Started dealing with, hopefully, yelling at God, and I had a lot of talks during that run of, okay, don't put me down this road again. So came home, actually the last 5 miles were faster than my first 5 miles. Did fantastic. 2:02, not satisfied, but first half that was good. Came home, took my son, we went right to the emergency room. Said, I want a CT scan, I want a X-ray. 2 months later, as we went to GI and everything, he has Crohn's. So his 14th birthday, he got diagnosed with Crohn's. So he went from that skinny kid to this. So for 8th grade through 9th grade, he was on high doses of prednisone. So what I would do, the way I dealt with it is I went out and ran. That was my, you know, he went through school, had to deal with all the pressure of that age, and I'm like, nothing I do compares to what he's going through. And then same time around there, my friend Paul, like I said, in 2012, she was diagnosed with cancer, and I was getting ready to do Marine Corps. I said, I need to do a marathon. I'm going to do it for both Matt and for Paula. And so the training, we think the training's hard. It's not that hard. You know, it's just we got to put the time in. You got to put the effort in. And whenever I had aches and pain, guess what? I thought about what they were going through, and I just did it. So again, I endured it. So Teamindure, I spelled with an I because the I silent. It's really not about me. It's what I'm doing for those other people. This is my friend Paula. That picture was actually 2 months, I think, before she was diagnosed with cancer the first time. And then this is her this year, I don't know when it was, maybe May. She had just did a double chemo that week and went out and did a 5K. Because she was signed up for a 5K. She walked it, but she's tough as nails. She is not going to stop. And so, again, nothing that I do, training, running, and that's where swimming, I hate swimming. I cannot say how much I hate swimming. I'm claustrophobic under that water, but again, nothing compares. So I stuck my head in the water and I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And now I actually would prefer to swim. It's funny how that happens. I'd actually prefer to swim over the bike. I'll still run. And then lastly, so some of the, I remember just Facebook friends with me and kind of seeing some of the things I've been doing for depression and out of the darkness and for suicide prevention. This is my younger son. He's going through some anxiety and some depression issues right now that we're trying to deal with. So that's my focus now is, you know, I need to start harnessing that. And I had a cousin, unfortunately, last week just buried her second daughter to drug overdose. So, you know, if we look around, there's enough pain, unfortunately, around us. It's what we do about that. And one of the things is that when it comes to fundraising, anybody here fundraise, done any fundraising in the past? Not easy. You know, I wanted to do Team Challenge for my son. They were only in Charlotte, so I drove to Charlotte and I said, okay, I'm going to do this for him. Drove to Charlotte, did the meeting. It was $100 to sign up, and I had to raise $3,000, and if I didn't raise $3,000, I had to sign a note saying that I would raise the $3,000 to cover my hotel and my event fees and all the other stuff and travel. You know, I had $2,000 in medical bills. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not doing anything for Team Challenge, so I didn't do it. So when it came to doing Marine Corps, I was like, how do I choose? Do I do something for breast cancer? Do I do something for my son with Crohn's? Do I do something? I had a cousin who had MS. And I started looking around at everything, and I wasn't satisfied with what I was finding as far as ways to do different things. So when I did Marine Corps, I basically created my own company, created Teamindure, and basically this is the shirt that I did the first year. Basically put a picture of my family, my friend Paula, and then, it looks childish, but still we wrote down, you know, who I would endure the event for. And honestly, there's something about wearing someone's name on your back. You know, we all get shirts and they have sponsors on the back, but do you really put in all the effort for those sponsors on the back? There's not a day or an event, you know, if anybody trained with me, when I got that stuff on, I'm going to give it 100%. I'll do everything I can to get through because, again, I'm wearing that, and it's not going to end up in Goodwill later, like some of this other stuff, you know, which will then end there eventually. And then what I did for 14, basically, I made 2 of them, but it was a final copy. I call it rough draft. It's a final copy, and basically that's how I did the event. So who is Teamindure? I have 3 other women that basically every time I feel like I was going to quit and like, okay, I'm done. This is only me. I'm not going to try to grow this business at all. I'll just kind of chalk up whatever money that I've lost and spent over the years. First one was Jess. She was a friend of a friend. And she kind of met Matt and kind of bought into what we were doing. And she goes, you know, I've never done a half marathon. She lived in Roanoke, or was from Roanoke at the time. She goes, I've never done a half marathon. Would you come run with me? So Saturday I said, okay, that's fine. Let's sign up. And we went to Roanoke and did the Star City half. That was 3 weeks after doing Marine Corps. That was tough. Because Roanoke's not very flat, so it's pretty hilly. Luckily, we went at her pace, but I got her through to the finish line. So, and basically, I gave her the template of the shirt, and she customized it the way she wanted to. Through Jess, Sarah is probably my savior. She is the one that's probably pushed me the most. She's also in Roanoke, and her brother committed suicide I want to say it was 2 years ago at Christmas. So everything she does is for Out of the Darkness and for suicide prevention. And her goal and her mission is to try to not have anybody walk down that path that she went down. So the first year I sent her a shirt, and she basically started a 5K, worked a 10K, did a half marathon. So this year, 2015, she designed that shirt. I said, what do you want in the back of the shirt? She sent me the stuff, and she put a Bible verse on it, and she went and did events this year for Out of the Darkness. And then she actually put on an event at Roanoke College where all proceeds through Out of the Darkness went through that. So Sarah, every time that I felt like I was, this is it, she'd send me a text, or I'd get a Facebook post that she did this for, her brother, whatever she was doing. So I'm like, okay, we'll just keep it going then. So that's when we've kind of just keep pushing that rock a little farther down the road. And then I have a friend here, Laura, who I never even thought of biking. I'm running, I was a runner, that's all I focused on. She's like, I want a bike shirt. So she went and did Tour de Femme the past 2 years. Annette Sturdivant was a friend of hers who actually died of cancer probably 2 weeks before last year's event. And she's not, Laura said she doesn't bike a lot as much as she used to. And she made it through that event. Again, same thing, just kind of enduring those miles. So fundraising, one of the other issues I found fundraising, when people fundraise, how do you fundraise? You ask all your friends. You're asking the same people over and over again. So you do it through Facebook. People are tired of you asking, for money. Oh, Pete wants money again, or somebody wants something. So you do it through Facebook, and then let's say you want to go outside of your circle and you want to ask other people. Well, you really don't want to let them into your Facebook world. So how do you get them that? I think we got to watch who we let in our Facebook world. So I have a website, teamindure.com, and what we did is that basically set up story pages. So I have a story page, Laura has a story page, Sarah has a story page. It just tells what they're going to do that year. And then what we've done is linked their charities, whoever they want to do them through. So they can have one, or mine has multiple. I haven't pushed anybody because I'm not a fundraiser. To be honest, I'd rather just go do the events. I'd rather, challenge myself and do it. We're getting bombarded with people asking for money all the time. I think the way we do charity is that we're doing events for the MS. We're doing events for, I just did one for mental health on Saturday. So all those proceeds go to that event. So that's the way we're supporting, because we're also getting something out of it too. We're getting, does it fit in my training schedule? Okay, I need to bike 62 miles. Okay, we're going to go do this bike because we're going to MS, or we're going to go do something. So I think that's how most of us are doing it, but some people still do traditional fundraising. So we have all those pages. And then the other thing I did is I offer, people have cards. So another thing, how do you say, oh, Doug, I'm going to raise money for Crohn's. Here's my website. You're not going to remember what that is. So basically I made up business cards, and I would hand them out, and it had my page on it, and it says what I'm doing, so we can customize those as well for anybody that's interested. And then kind of out of that, I didn't ever plan on doing this. I got approached by the Greensboro Shrine Club this year to put on a race. These guys have never been to a race, most of them didn't know how to put on an event, they wanted to raise money. They said, Pete, you're a runner, why don't you help us put on an event? So I put on a 5K. So we started in January last year, and we went through the whole planning, the whole thing, and not as successful as I would have liked. Always would like to have more people there, more money. Luckily, I did have some people come here. Rob and Neela came with her family, which I thank them for coming out. And what we did, there's Neela and her family. And then this troublemaker right here. And then basically it was just a great event. It was actually fun. It's something that I'm hoping I'm going to start doing more of as well. So for me, it was a perfect fit with the Shriners because Shriners Hospital doesn't charge for any of the people that go there. Everything's free, so it's out of donations. So it was a perfect fit. So we're already planning for next year to kind of partner with them to put on this event. So what is Teamindure? Basically raising awareness. You know, we always ask people, pray for me or think about me. Do we do that, and are we really devoting that time to do that? So by wearing the shirt or doing something for that person, I'm dedicating my 5K, I'm dedicating my race, whatever that is, that mile. Each Battleship 70.3, everybody had a mile. I basically dedicated 1 mile, and that's why Andrew and I were both kind of struggling on the run, and it got to the point where we had 5K left, and I said, I'm not satisfied, and I said, Andrew, I gotta go, and I left, and I got through the last 5K, and I'm gonna get through this, and I'm gonna do it on my own terms. I'm not gonna stop, I'm not gonna walk the whole way. I said, I need to go. So that's the accountability factor. I'm not gonna, do it halfway. I have, and when I say I'm gonna do it, you gotta do it. And then merchandising, I said, anything customizing, you want something, you're interested, I'm not here to push any of this stuff on anybody. It's an option. If you're interested, please, please see me, please talk to me. And then fundraising, and then event planning is where I'm going. So I did make a video, it kind of ties in everything from this year